You're listening to FloInsider, a podcast for creative entrepreneurs who want a fresh perspective on business, communication, and art.
You look better than me, man. That's amazing.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
That is amazing. Not that that's a bad thing. That's perfect. Beautiful. It's so nice to see you again.
You too. You too. It's been a while. How are you?
It has been a while. Well, I am. That's a loaded question, isn't it? I'm good. Generally, just a bit
Yeah.
exhausted with everything. Just over.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Can we just skip it all and just get back to some kind of normality and
Yeah. How are you
friends?
doing?
Yeah, all right, all right. I think literally with weddings it's been pretty much a washout for everybody.
Yeah.
Um that's been a tough one, but good
Yeah.
though. I haven't had any cancellations, which is incredible. I don't know how that happened really, but
Okay.
no cancellations. So literally just postponements, which is good. And
Beautiful.
and yeah, in some ways my mind has really not been on weddings at the moment. I think that's how I sort of like moved on from or trying to keep sane about it in some ways. I've been very much focused on education side of things and
Yeah.
trying to push that forward. So yeah. But no, it's been all right day. I've been chatting to a lot of friends and just connecting, just trying to connect again
Yeah.
and get things moving really. And I guess with Monday's announcement, everybody's got something to look forward to now as well, which is a massive thing.
I know.
So yeah, things
Beautiful.
are things are good day. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's healthy and the
Oh,
girls
good.
are amazing. So yeah,
Good. I'm
that
glad.
there could be worse things really. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I want to hear more about how you like pivoted and focused more on, other things during
Yeah.
last year. But maybe let's start at the beginning. For everyone that is listening that doesn't know you, why they would not know you, I don't know. But if anyone listening doesn't know who Igor is, can you give us a brief history of Igor Demba?
A brief history of Igor Demba.
Or not so brief, feel free to run with it.
No, not at all. So I'm Portuguese. I was born in Portugal, and yeah, travel around Europe quite a lot. My parents used to be missionaries. They used to travel around Europe quite a lot
Yeah.
with me and my sisters in tow. Eventually, we settled in England, and yeah, England became home really. Went to university to study graphic design, and that's where I got introduced in some ways to photography. I started taking photographs for my own graphic design work, and fell in love with street photography in particularly. And these were on the days of Flickr, so I posted a few
Ooh,
images on Flickr,
I
and
remember those days.
it's like the MySpace of photography, isn't it?
It is. Do you still have your Flickr account?
um, I'm pretty sure I deleted it, and if it's still up there, there's nothing in it.
I have to check.
I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't because,
Be interesting.
yeah, exactly. It's just to look back and see how awful things are and the progression. But yeah, um, so a friend asked me if I wanted to shoot her wedding after seeing those Flickr images, and and I said, "Oh, okay. I've never shot a wedding, but I'm a student, and I need the money."
Yeah.
So I shot that wedding and parked wedding. I really enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed it, but parked wedding photography for a little while, until I started thinking about getting engaged to my wife Zion. And as soon as I started researching into it a bit more,
Mm.
found incredible photographers here in the UK and in the US in particularly as well that were doing their own thing. They were doing wedding photography, but wedding photography that I didn't know about. And they had their own stamp, their own visual identity, which was incredible to see. I very much consider them as artists, really. And that was incredible. So with that one wedding, I started chasing people at church, and hey, you guys are getting married. Do you need a wedding photographer?
There's enough material
And
in church for that. So.
yeah, there really is. There really is. So, so yeah, things very much started snowballing from there, and yeah, I never stopped. Yes, I do say it with a caveat that my wedding photography career has been a slow burn. It's only been until the past.
Good.
So I've
Okay.
been photographing weddings for almost 12 years,
Mm.
but almost half of that has been um with a full-time job. So I only came into full-time with wedding photography for the past probably 5 6 years. So yeah, but that's me in a nutshell in some ways, and here we are.
Great, thank you. And so what was before that? You said like it's been a slow burner. What did you do full time? What you said you parked wedding photography for a while after doing that first wedding.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what did you do in between those, and while you were building that business on the side? What was your day job? What happened
yeah. I had several, but the main one was working at Mastercard,
there? Okay.
which thinking about it now is like so different really, but it was very corporate. It was a
Yeah.
great job. It paid bills and everything else. It was,
Yeah.
and I had great friends, and yeah, my boss was incredible as well. And at the same time, I I very much geared that job to propel me to wedding photography. So I managed to change my hours. So I would start at 6 in the morning. I had clients in Australia, so that worked really, really well. So I would start work at 6 in the morning and finish at 2. And then from 2 onwards, just focus on wedding photography.
Mm,
And that took a while to sort of like
mm,
take things off and kicking off. And at the same time, um, I think for me at least, I had to have uh, an incredible supporting wife that just supported me in it really, because it would be long hours. And I would be doing obviously Mastercard from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then from 2 p.m. just literally work until I don't know midnight,
wow.
2 as well. It just literally depends. Obviously, it wouldn't always be like that,
Yeah.
but that would be most of the times really. So in those sort of like foundational years where I was trying to kick off the business, um, that was the reality of it really. And I'm super grateful that Zion saw what she saw, that it could be something at the same time. Yeah, it was hard work. It was a slow burn. It was really a slow burn. And yeah, I always advise people to try and get your partner involved in the business as much as possible, just so they can be there for you when things go well. They root for you when things go bad. You kind of like bounce off
Yeah.
and try to work on ideas together. So yeah, I'm super grateful for that. Um, and yeah, eventually things started taking to a sort of stage where wedding photography was literally earning me the double of what I was earning at a Mastercard. and and in some ways, looking back, I wish I'd jumped into full-time wedding photography a bit earlier.
Mhm.
And I probably could have done it, but um I guess me and Zion very much, in terms of money, we've always been quite frugal. We've always been quite, I don't know what the word is, frugal, I guess, quite safe. And we wanted to make sure that we had enough to really live on wedding photography, because it's a massive jump. You just don't know. Even though I had been doing it for 5 years or so, it wasn't my sole income. So you're very much, ooh, you're afraid of making the jump. So it
Of
took a
course.
while until I made the jump to make sure that things were safe. And okay, I feel like now I can do it. I know the business, money's coming in, and we'll be fine if it's just full
Right.
time. So
Right.
yeah, I hear friends sometimes saying that the best thing that happened to them was being laid off their job, because they literally had no choice to
Yeah.
literally start with wedding photography, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So so yeah, in some ways I wish I had that in order to kind of like push me to go for it, but it worked out. It worked out in
Yeah,
some ways.
amazing. And I really appreciate you saying, it was a slow burner and not an overnight success.
No,
um,
definitely not.
which people who are actually experiencing it, they never say that. Normally that isn't the case. There might be some exceptions, but normally it is, yeah, just a slower and longer process. But on the
Yeah,
outside, to others, it might look like, whoa, where did that person just come from? Like
yeah.
I've never heard of them before, I've never seen their work before, and suddenly they're everywhere. um and so I really appreciate that. You've been sorry, my nose is like running. You've been named Harper's Bazaar top 10, top 50, what was it, wedding photographer in the world.
Yeah, I think they just got the list really. Yeah, just top wedding photographers in the world.
So,
Yeah,
which is, congratulations on that. That is amazing.
thank
Like
you.
what an achievement. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and something to celebrate. Um, how do you think, like, um, doing wedding photography for 12 years in total and then doing it full time? Do you think that the doing it full-time aspect was the thing that propelled your career, because then you could focus on it completely? Or was there something else? Were there other things that you did differently, that you changed, that gave you like that push?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. I would say yes and no, because um, because and here's a good example as well. So it was 2016 and was awarded the rangefinder Rising Star thing, and that was the year just before I went full time,
Mm,
and and had uh, and I'm pretty sure I had tried before to apply for it or been nominated but didn't get it. But I think what pushed me even more to sort of like try to get it was the fact that I wasn't full time,
yeah.
and I had something to achieve. I had something there in the sort of like horizon, however pretty it might look like, or however pretty you think it might look like, you had something there on the horizon that you very much wanted to achieve, and and that was a motivator in some ways. And after that, you kind of like get it, and it's very much like, oh, is this it?
Yeah,
Is there more to it
exactly.
in some ways? So
Yeah.
you very much realize that it's not the it's it is not the goal. It is not the goal at all. So yeah, that goes to the yes and no in some way. So when Harper's Bazaar happened, it's absolutely incredible. I feel like incredibly honored that um peers can view my work or myself in that sort of way. But at the same time, it's really the clients that bring that sense of purpose, and
Hmm.
the fact I'm able to do this artistry, um, that I'm able to be my boss and at the same time be an artist and provide for my family at the same time. So yeah, yes and no.
Brilliant. I love that. And it's something that is so, I had that conversation last week with someone on my podcast where we talked about these goals and achievements, and like how they can be really good ignition, like to fire
Mhm.
you up. But in the long run, if that's your fuel, like
Exactly.
you're never happy in the moment, if you're constantly looking for the next. And it's that next thing, that goal always moves as well. Like
Exactly.
it
That's it.
once you achieve it, as you said, you're like, that's it, what's next? Like it's
That's it. That's it.
yeah.
And in some ways, I always admire photographers. I've got my heroes, but I always admire photographers that manage to stay relevant in the industry even after like being in the industry for so many years,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
hard work. It's hard work, and as you said, the goalpost keeps on moving, and
yeah,
there's always someone better than you in some ways,
yeah.
and you got to accept that really. So to be relevant and have something to say, and at the same time provide work that um you are proud of, it can be hard. Yeah, it is. In a world of comparison and
Yeah.
Instagram, it's very easy to lose focus of the main thing, of the main whys, and why I'm actually doing this. And yeah, it's very true.
Why are you doing this? How would you
I landed
formulate your
myself
why?
into that question.
You did that. You prepared that for yourself. Like what would you describe is your why? How would you
Yeah,
describe?
that's a good question. I've been on I've been on Clubhouse recently, for probably 6 weeks now, and absolutely love it. And me and this good friend, this good guy that has become a good friend, Miles. We've started this room, which is just called Photography with Purpose, Positivity and Purpose,
Mhm.
and some of the stories that we've heard in there has been just absolutely incredible in terms of people's whys.
Yeah.
So this question has been on my mind a lot lately. I would say, in some part, and I feel like I'm an artist at my core, within my heart, and I've got this sort of like um, creative hole in my heart that I need to fulfill. I
Yep.
need to, I need to itch that scratch constantly, and if I don't, I'm not satisfied to a certain degree. Um, at the same time, I know that creative itch is able to really provide for my family and made me create something. I just love the fact that I can actually create something. If I wasn't a wedding photographer, I probably would be, I don't know, a winemaker or a chef or something on the lines of that.
Yeah.
And I still would have to have that creativity hole fulfilled in some way. So in some ways I would say, are you an artist for yourself? In some ways, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
sounds selfish or not,
Absolutely. No.
but yes, at the forefront of it, I consider myself an artist that needs to create, and with that, certain opportunities have come that are able to propel things forward and provide for my family, which is ace. But at the same time, at the core, I think we are creatives, and we are created to create, really. So yeah.
Yeah. I know. I totally agree. That makes so much sense because any artist, whether they're aware of it or not, whether they do it for a living or not, I think we just want to put something out there that's inside of us because we just cannot do otherwise. It's not even necessarily a choice. Like, yes, you have to choose to make it in the end, but that urge inside, it's just there. Like we want to create, and I would even say it's that's everyone's thing inside, even if people wouldn't call themselves artists. we
Yeah,
all we all want to leave something and make
yeah,
and be that creator, just make something,
yeah,
um that in like a very on a very basic level. I think everyone wants to do that,
yeah,
um and so it makes absolute sense. It's not selfish, it's just something that's inside of all of us, I think.
yeah. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, totally love that. You do a lot of destination weddings. I think that is your main thing, isn't it?
Yes,
Like,
very much so.
you're more on planes than you are in the UK, right? Normally,
Normally, yes.
when there's no COVID.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you take me on that journey? Like, how did that happen? Was that something you just slipped into by accident? Because I know that was the case for me when I was a wedding photographer. It just snowballed with destination weddings, or was it something you worked towards to very like intentionally? How did that come about?
Yeah. I, in some ways, yes and no. This is going to be this whole interview. This whole podcast is going to be yes and no.
Beautiful. Well, that is life. Life is gray. Life is both.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah.
clear cut.
Yep.
But I would say that um, having shot my first destination wedding, and that was in Cyprus. Was that
Nice.
Cyprus or was that Spain? Either one of the two. Um,
Almost neighbors.
um, I absolutely love the whole removal of your own surroundings day to day and being dropped somewhere and here you go, create. Um, I think that's one of the things that really attracts me to destination weddings, seeing the world for the first time, very much in a childlike way that you try to see things for the pure beauty of what they are, or things seem in some ways bigger than what they actually are. Um, in some ways, I absolutely love that. So, having shot that one wedding initially, that was the thing that really attracted me to it. And then I think thinking back, and this was a good friend that sort of made me sort of like think about it more. But we were chatting about each other's work, and he very much said that I'd captured this UK wedding, had just blog posted it, and he said, "You shot that wedding, even though it was in the UK, you very much shot it as if it was a destination wedding," and I couldn't, and I couldn't put my finger at what he meant,
Yeah.
but eventually, I think with destination weddings, there's this pressure, or mm, yeah, let's call it pressure, even though it's not that. That's not the right word, but there's this pressure to be able to tell the story of the location in a really, really tangible way. You're not just telling the story of a couple or the day, but you're telling it as a whole, really, of the location, why they're there, and I think that as wedding photographers, it's really very much our job to be able to tell a story and tell a story in a really good way. So um, that again really really attracted me to destination weddings, and in some ways I try to focus again if even if it is in the UK that I'm shooting, and especially now with COVID, that's very much going to be the case for this year. And to be able to tell stories like that in a very 3D way, and that it just doesn't focus on the couple and the moments that are around there, but very much on the location and the surroundings, and try to tell a story um, in that way, and very much look at things that are mundane to us. Like for example, shooting a church wedding that people sometimes in the industry are very much like, oh, not another church wedding, but
Yeah. Yeah.
shooting that sort of wedding and just being able to tell an incredible story
Hmm.
um, just through the mundane, really. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I very much try to focus on that really in terms of destination weddings. But yeah, with COVID, it's completely different now this year. It's yeah, UK
Yeah.
UK
Like,
is going to see a lot more of Igor.
oh, definitely. The UK is lucky. Like what a year ago when everything went down, like what happened with your business specifically? Like, did you shoot any weddings last year, or like, was it small weddings? Did you go abroad at all? Um,
Yeah,
how did 2020 look? What did you focus on? How is this year gonna look for you? Like for your business?
yeah.
Like,
2020, despite everything, um, was was good. I think it's very much depending on your perspective in life anyway, and
yeah.
your mindset. But I was able to capture 4 or 5 weddings,
Mhm.
which were great. I literally felt like a kid in a in a sweet shop. Literally, being able to shoot anything was incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
so 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 yeah, that was good, and they were very much micro weddings. One of my favorites was in Oxford, and we were able to literally just create. And I think one thing that COVID has done, um particularly last year and this year, is put a hard reset in people's priorities in terms of the industry, in terms of how couples are choosing their wedding photographers, in terms of the budgets, in terms of
Mm.
priorities in general. It's been a very much hard reset. So for me, in terms of certain couples that perhaps couldn't book me at the time, came back and said, "Hey, Igor, we want to get married, and even if it's just a few of us, 20 people, 15 people,
Mm.
we would love to have you there. Are you able to do that?" And yeah, I was really, because it wasn't a full day wedding, and they had a bit more budget, and we were able to do it. So um, yes, 2020 looked good, and even though it was mainly in the UK, I was able to go to Marrakesh once in December,
Nice.
and that was literally for an incredible hotel there to capture some of the interiors that they literally remodeled. They used the whole year, and whilst everything was in lockdown in Marrakesh, to literally remodel the whole hotel and create new rooms. And it's a quite boutique hotel where every single room is very different, and it's got its own unique stamp.
Which one is
So to
it?
be
Which
able,
hotel was it?
it's called Alphen,
Oh my
and
gosh, I love it. I'm so jealous.
it's it.
I think everyone
It's
listening probably
incredible.
knows it. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, if you know Marrakesh, you know Alphen, really.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful hotel. It's owned by Richard Branson's sister, Vanessa Branson, and some of the other people there. They're they very much they love artistry, they love art, and they've got art literally all over the place, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful, really. So, and I guess the connection came from capturing a wedding there, and then establishing a rapport with the managers there, and things sort of snowballed from that, really. And yeah, it felt good to create again, and do something different, really, because it was a very much commercial job. It wasn't um a wedding, really. So I had to adjust certain things in the way I work, and the approach to it, which was a massive learning curve, but it was very much welcome at the same time. So I very much felt like I grew as a photographer, not just as a wedding photographer, but solidly as a photographer, really, just because of that experience. So that was really good. And 2021, I guess, with the new roadmap here in the UK, it's just been announced on Monday. Um, at least it gives specific dates for people to and couples to have something to look forward to,
Yeah.
knowing when 15 people can be at a wedding, knowing when 30 people can be at a wedding, and knowing when venues can have however they see fit, really. So that's incredible, really, and that makes me look forward to the year. It's going to be very much a UK year. I've
Mhm.
got a couple of destinations, but it's going to be mainly in the UK. Yes.
Mm. Do you miss traveling?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I thought I would miss it more.
Yeah.
I thought I would miss it more. I love the fact of, as I said before, literally leaving your usual day to day things that you usually do, and being put in a completely different environment. I think that the creative at heart just longs for that, really.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've absolutely loved the routine that me, Zai, and Ava have established. Really, we know exactly how our week is gonna go and what we're gonna do, and usually I wouldn't be okay with that with a solid routine. But
Yeah.
again, COVID has been a massive hard reset, so it's
Yeah.
been nice to really have a routine that's quite healthy as well, and we're very much focusing on trying to create healthier habits, really, in whatever we do. So yeah, I've actually really enjoyed having a routine, and I found that especially being as a creative, you at least my attitude has been very much like, routines are the killers of creativity. I can't work when I'm when I have a routine. I need to be
Yeah.
inspired, and
Yeah.
inspiration only comes when whenever.
Yeah.
So to establish clear routines and being able to actually see that those routines actually create productivity and create a good space where I know where I'm at and I can actually create in that sort of space has been really really good. Yeah.
That's
So
so cool,
yeah.
because that would have been my next question. Like, it's so interesting, like how what you said as well about destination weddings, you come into a new space and you are almost automatically inspired because you are around something that you're not always around. So just that new environment sparks ideas and sparks inspiration, which is something that when I was doing destination weddings, people would ask me, why the heck do clients like fly in someone to a different country to shoot the wedding if they could book a photographer from that place, right? A local
Yeah.
photographer, which is a totally fair point. And I think obviously that has to do with the personal preference of people. They like someone's photos and so they want to fly them in. But also I think it's actually it can be quite nice to have someone new there to shoot that instead of someone local, because they're looking at it with a set of fresh eyes, and they will just shoot it differently from someone that shoots in that church in that town every week. Like,
That's it. That's
so
it. And
that's quite like just like inspiring. So I'm like really intrigued how routine and having a schedule and doing the same for like a whole year all the time, most of the time, how that helped your inspiration and or how it changed maybe your inspiration and your creativity.
yeah, I think COVID in general has very much changed or propelled the business in some ways to different avenues, really. So,
Mhm.
as I said before, I spent quite a lot of time in this sort of like education realm lately, and even though I used to do it a lot, I think now with Zooms and mentoring sessions and everything else, people have got access to other people in a really really more people long for a bit more of connection,
Yeah.
a lot more than previously, simply because we are all locked down, really. So to be able to sort of propel the business into sort of like education side, where I'm providing information that would happen at conferences and workshops, and at the same time learning myself, has been a massive thing, really, to really grow. And I think that routine element of it has very much helped that side in terms of the business, in terms of the creative side. Um, I think I think it has been hard to sort of like, okay, get up and now let's go again and do your let's shoot. I think it has been hard, yes, but at the same time, um, it very much felt like riding a bike. Okay, I do know what I'm doing, so I just need to get warmed up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but it's I'm curious as well in some ways. I'm curious as well, as you said, to see how it's going to change the creative side, and how it will change the business visually in some way. So yeah, I don't have a straight answer for that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, right? Like the next this year and next year. I think as much as it is like riding a bike, as you said, but I think after not doing it for so long and after being through what we've been through, it's like I think our eyes and our ways to do things, see things, just naturally change as well. And
Mm,
and we might value different things even like while we look through the lens. I just find that really interesting as to what will happen
yeah,
with that
I
with
agree. I agree. I agree. It's just a question to see how that will look like. But I completely agree with you there.
yeah.
Something has to change, really, in some
Yeah.
ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, so much has changed already, even though sometimes it feels like nothing has happened, but so much has happened at the same time. So it's going to be interesting how that changes the way we shoot as well. In when we really, really can get back into it. I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. Like with portrait shoots, it's quite easy. You can still do them one-on-one, and you can wear a mask, and can be quite safe and stuff. But yeah, with definitely weddings and bigger things and travel, I just can't wait to it not being an issue anymore. Like it just
Yes, very much. But at the
it's
same time, with portraits, it's the beauty of that intimacy. Really, you really have to work hard at um, letting that person open up, really, and letting them see you, really. So, yeah, it'll be great to get to normality
yeah,
and start things again. Definitely, for sure. I'm there with you.
yeah, not hiding behind masks. So you've told me what you loved about storytelling and destination weddings, and both of these together. What do you hate about destination weddings?
Ooh, such a good question.
give
I
me,
never get
give
this sort of
me,
question.
give me the ugly stuff. I want to know. I know
The
what I hate
real,
about them, but like, what do you hate about them?
yes, of course, the real nitty gritty, really. I would say, um, like wedding photography in general, but with destination, I think it's high end. It can be very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it can be a lot of time spent in hotel rooms, um, missing your family or missing your loved ones, and at the same time having incredible experiences and not being able to share that with the people that you truly value and truly love. I think that's the big one for me.
Yeah.
Um, so to combat that, I've tried really, especially last year, like the year previous to COVID, 2019. Me, Zai, and Ava, we literally just traveled the whole year together, really. Um, if it was a wedding abroad, we would just travel together and make the most out of it, really. Not obviously, not everybody can do that, but
Yeah.
we're able to literally just do that for that 1 year that Zai was on maternity leave, and just try to just adventure together, really, and combat that, really. But I think that's the obviously we can't do that every year, and that's not going to happen next year or so. So it will be the thing that constantly gets me. That it can be very lonely. So surrounding yourself with people um, that you love and value, it's a crucial one, really. So
Mm.
yeah. At the same time, I I try to combat that as well by booking somewhere nice, by booking somewhere nice where
Absolutely. Yeah.
where I know that
Yeah.
I'll have a Zen time as well. I can grab a book or audio book and just literally be be in my own mind, be in my own
Yeah.
element, by the pool or something like that, and just actually enjoy that time.
Yeah.
Um, I found that helped. That helps as well in some ways, but it can be very lonely. And at the same time, here's the other one. Um, whilst weddings are hard work, the travel can very much get to you. It's brutal. It's hard hours. You can, again, you can work till very much late night, um, and it's the fact that then after that you still gotta get on a plane and travel and try to make the most of it, really. And you still gotta try and run your business, even though you are 4 5 days away from the house or from the office, and your business still got to run. You still got to have to do things, and yeah, your business still got to run, really. So yeah, it can be tough in that way. It can be um long hours
Great.
and a lot extra work, really, for yourself. So it's good to sort of like implement certain things in order to try to alleviate that, for sure.
Thanks for being honest. So that I mean, we have to talk about this stuff because people glamorize it way too much, and photographers want to really get into it because they only see the travel aspect of it, like, and
That's it.
how great the travel is. But actually, when you travel for work, it's great for a while, but as you say, like there's a lot of shadow sides to it as well,
Yeah, very
that
much.
that you don't see. So I think it's important to talk about, and even with hearing that, if there are still people who want to do destination weddings after hearing that, what would you say to those people? Like, do it or run away. Like, is the approach different? It, like, when you're trying to get into destination weddings nowadays, obviously we live now in a very strange time and world. When I remember when I started, what a lot of photographers would do is just shoot the destination weddings for no fee. So they wouldn't get paid, they would just get paid for the travel, because they really wanted those destination weddings. Like, what is your personal approach, your personal opinion, if someone would want to focus on that, what to do? Let's just assume COVID is not a thing.
Yeah, if you want to shoot for free, go for it. But at the same time, I've very much grown to the mindset that whilst I'm an artist, I am a business guy, and I love business, and I still got to run a business. And the whole idea of us being self-employed, that we are sort of like our own bosses. I want to be able to be an incredible boss for myself, if that makes sense. So to be able to shoot a wedding for free, no, I wouldn't do it at the same time, because it's a tricky one. I would advise not to do it, but if you want to do it, do it. You might be able to provide certain opportunities in terms of, yes, you'll have that wedding, that wedding in your portfolio, that destination wedding in your portfolio. But the fact that you sort of like shot it for free would just simply instill the expectation for whoever that comes next from that friend, that you would do something similar. And people talk, of course they do. So it would be straight away, if you start from zero, it would be hard to put yourself at a position where you charge 3, 4, 5K for whatever next job you want to be doing. So that's one thing. And the other thing, what was the point? I had one more point. I can't remember the other point that I had about it.
Don't worry.
But we'll go back to it.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's kind of also it kind of it's bad practice for yourself if you shoot a wedding for free and the next one for free and another one for free. However amazing the venues might be and the places, like it's hard for yourself to practice that thing of putting value on your work, and demanding like someone pay you if you don't start doing that right away. Like I find it really hard.
Definitely.
And I've done that like 10, 8, 9 years ago. I've shot like a couple, 3 maybe destination weddings just for like the paid travel. And let me tell you, it was never worth it. Like it was just never worth it, because you think I'll do it and I'll get something from my portfolio out of it. And I'll get like a nice little vacation. It's not the case. Like, so it was not worth it. But I think it's important to say those things, because again, this is something people like tend to not say, or they don't talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very true.
About, right? Like this is happening. People do this, but
all the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And yes, it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. But at the same time, something that I was going to say is that there are different ways of getting destination weddings from, aside from not necessarily undercutting, but aside from just getting paid for expenses. Things like, if you first of all, if you want to be a destination wedding, know why you want to be a destination wedding, because it's hard work. Secondly, if you want to be a destination wedding, you better travel. You better travel and show that you love to travel, because that's what you're going to be doing, really. And why would a couple book you when they know that you don't travel, that you don't necessarily secure in navigating those sort sort of things. And when you do travel, try to get friends or whoever involved. Um, Shooting so many times, literally, I've been, especially particularly in Marrakesh, where I've been to Marrakesh, um, or this happened in, I guess Iceland is the best example, really. Me and Zai went to Iceland, and I shot the crap out of it, literally tried to capture her everywhere that I could, really. And
Yeah.
we just shot everything in it. We just went there for holiday and absolutely enjoyed it, and created a little slideshow of Iceland. And that was what got me my first elopement in Iceland.
Mm.
And that's a way of doing it, really. I find it, and it's more organic as well. And what I was going to say about Marrakesh is, so many times have I been wondering about Medina, and you just see a couple that you just like, you guys look incredible. I need to know you. You need to be friends, and I need to capture you. So coming up to people, to strangers, and asking, hey, you guys look absolutely incredible. Would I be able to capture you, let's say today or tomorrow, or just to take a few photos? And yeah, I'll give them for free for you. And to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and then to sort of showcase those images. I think that's more organic. Not that I've ever booked a client or one of those couples afterwards, but I've booked weddings because of those images, if that
Because of
makes
those
sense.
images, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you showed a version of what you wanted, even like it wasn't a wedding, you just showed, a holiday video, whatever. Like it was a version of what you wanted and where you want to go.
yeah,
And then the people that connect with it like book you, which makes so much sense.
yeah. That's it. It's just so much more organic, and
Yeah.
yeah, it just works better. I find it. That's a few ways of doing it, really. Yeah.
Beautiful. You do love Marrakesh, don't you?
I do love Marrakesh. I should have a second house in Marrakesh.
I mean, I can't see why that wouldn't happen. We have that in common. I love that place so much. It's just
Definitely,
it's
it
the best.
invites so much warmth, and
Yeah,
it's just, yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I love it.
so much inspiration like everywhere. It's incredible. Oh, I love it. Can't wait to go back. Igor, as photographers, we leave behind a lot of memories for other people. In some ways, I feel like, especially with doing weddings, I feel like I'm in other people's lives so much, and in their beautiful moments, that I missed out on a lot of my own, like a lot of birthday parties or gatherings and barbecues and weddings in my
Yeah.
own family, in my own friends group, right? And I'm sure you've had a similar experience over the years, like creating things for other people. So I'd love to know from you, what is your legacy? What do you hope your legacy is? And that is my last question.
Ooh, Nadia, deep questions. Come on, this is great. You're putting me on the spot here. Um, what would I like to be my legacy? I like, photography aside, um, which is probably what you meant in terms of photography. But photography aside, I wish, I hope, be remembered as someone that was an encourager, someone that, after we left the conversation, you felt lifted up from whatever way. Yeah, just constantly an encourager, really. But in terms of photography, ooh, it's a hard one. What do I wish my legacy to be? It's deep. I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I'm
it doesn't
still.
even, I didn't even ask that question with that in mind, that it has to be
Yeah,
specifically about photography. Um,
yeah,
because you are leaving like a tangible legacy for so many people. Like they look at the images and it will forever be linked to you. Like if you weren't there, those images wouldn't exist anyway.
Yeah.
So that is a massive thing, I feel like. So I'm actually, yeah, I was like actually interested in just, you know, your general feeling, like what you want it to be. It not even like related to photography, because that's kind of like a given as photographers. It's what we leave behind. It's the photos.
Yeah. We live that visual legacy in some ways.
Yeah. It is visual, but for the people on the receiving end, it's so emotional. It's so sentimental. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, very much so.
yeah, it's a lot more than just images, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, in terms of personally, I think it would be the encourager thing, definitely. I know it might sound cheesy, but
No.
it's one of the things that I've always tried to sort of do, and I've been aware of it, and I think that over the last year or so, when the world is going to pot, and you literally have to make a conscious effort to see your friends and send that call or send that text and, hey, how you doing, but seriously, how are you actually doing, that sort of thing. It has been very much on the forefront of my mind, really. And yeah, I hope that I'd be remembered as an encourager, really, as someone that left conversations like looking you in the eye and felt like I got you in a sense, and just leaving people uplifted, really. So yeah.
Beautiful. I think you're already doing that. You're
You're the best. You're the best.
Thank you so much, Igor. I really, really love talking to you. I hope we can do this in person soon.
Yes, please, please. It's been really, really good, and it has made me realize how much I've missed you.
Oh, same. I can't believe it's been so long since we met in London at
Too
the
long.
Ace Hotel, wasn't it?
Um, yeah, it must have been.
It was a
We've done a lot. We've done London.
oh,
We've done Ireland.
wait, we saw, yeah, we went in Belfast. That was the last time I saw you. Right.
Yeah, Belfast. That's it. Yeah, that's
That
it.
was
Yeah,
so much fun. That was so much
that
fun.
was fun.
Oh my gosh. That was one of the most beautiful conferences I've ever spoken at. Like in terms
Yeah,
of like the people and the vibe, the energy was so
yeah.
so beautiful.
We had a really, really good group of people, and
It,
yeah, again, just people that really uplift you and challenge you, and yeah, people like Jennifer that are very much like, "Yeah, come on,
yeah.
let's go and grab the world," and
Yes.
fair, so inspirational, and
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
you like, and it was, yeah, it was just, everything was really moving and touching. And I just hope we can be in real life soon again, and
yeah,
do this
very much
again.
so.
But thank you so much for your time. It was so beautiful to just know more, even though I knew a few things about your history and your career. It was so nice to hear more and dive more into the behind the scenes. So thank you.
Same here, same here. Next time it'll be the other way around. I'll be asking you more the questions.
Okay, let's do that. Let's make that happen.